Hello everyone, it's Carter from Limp Tumor here, and I'm doing this out of boredom, but also out of curiosity for what you guys will think. So, in light of the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, I thought I would read you guys a story that I wrote in 7th grade having to do with the smallpox pandemic in China many centuries ago. This is called the Smallpox Family. You're probably going to hear some things in here that are simply nonsensical. In other words, they don't make sense. However, I was in 7th grade and fictionally writing, so I didn't really care. Alright, let's begin. The Smallpox Family. It started out as a normal day in the city of Hong Kong in ancient China. The Yang family was having a normal day. The 3-year-old girl Chan was playing in the garden with his 6-year-old brother, her 6-year-old brother rather, Li. The parents Hu and Cal watching them. Hu was the father and Cal was the mother of the family. But then it happened. The emergency bell started ringing. The royal messenger of the emperor spoke. People of the city of Hong Kong, there is a disease that is killing people all through China. The city of Hong Kong is next. Take your children, take your family, and save yourselves. A message from the emperor. We must leave now, Hu said. You're right, said Cal. Kids, pack your things. We are leaving the city, Cal said. The kids obeyed, started packing their things. The parents packed essentials. The family stuck it all on baskets on the horses, and like everyone else was doing, they left the city. So they went off, not knowing what to do or where to go. All they knew was that they needed to leave. Days went by, and they were still traveling. They passed by bodies of people who had already died from the disease. One day, they saw a man infected with the disease, about ready to die. They stopped to look at him. Why have you stopped for me? There is no time to waste. Thousands of people are dying all around China. Save yourself. And those were his last words before he died. So they went on trying to escape the disease. Food and water was getting low. They were getting hungrier and thirstier each day. They sometimes thought of just giving up and lying on the ground and letting the disease infect them. But then they passed by another person that was infected by the disease and about to die. You are clearly not doing very good, he said. There is still one last hope of survival for all of you. There is a goddess of this disease, he said. If you get infected by the disease, you must paint a picture of the goddess and give her offering of your most prized possessions. Those were his last words before he died. So they kept moving, and eventually Chan was not feeling good at all. The only thing we can assume is that she has been infected with the disease, said Hu. What do we do? Said Cal. We must take the dead man's advice, said Hu. When they settled in that night, they started to paint a picture of the goddess. Hu offered his jar made completely of gold. Cal offered her golden camel. Li offered a flower. Chan could only lay there as they all gave their offerings. Then they all went to sleep. The next morning, Cal checked on Chan. Surprisingly, she was feeling a lot better. They could only assume that the offerings work. They continued on, still low on food and water. But then they saw something that proved that it wasn't the paintings nor the offerings that saved Chan's life. They passed by a village with hundreds of dead bodies, each one next to a painting of the goddess and offerings. They had no idea what saved the little girl. But the disease was getting closer by the second, and there was no time to sit and ponder about it. They kept going and going and going. Days had gone by, and at this point they were out of food and water. They eventually got to the Great Wall of China. "We're trapped," said Hu. "Maybe we can go around," said Cal. "This thing is 13,000 miles long. We'll never make it," Hu replied. "Look, an entrance," said Cal. "Quickly now," said Hu. They all went with the horses into the wall, found an exit, and got to the other side. They then continued on their way. Days went by, less food and water to find, more dead bodies to find. Eventually, Cal was very faint and pale. Eventually, Hu found that she was dying of hunger. And then, Cal fainted. She was very weary, and Hu could tell that she was nearing her last breath. "Cal, you have to stay with me. Come on," Hu said. "Hu, take care of the children. I love you so much." And Hu held Cal's hand as she died. Hu held back tears and told the kids that they needed to keep going. The children could not hold back their tears, and as they first started to keep going, there was sobbing all through the night until they cried themselves to sleep. Nevertheless, they kept going, bringing Cal's body with them. They eventually found a city that looked like the disease hadn't even touched it. A man in an imperial suit said, "Are you all right?" Hu replied, "Yes. All except one." The imperial scout could already tell Cal died. "I'm very sorry about your loss," he said. They were then told that the disease apparently was gone, but had killed hundreds of thousands of people. They were given supplies, got a new home, and as tradition says, they cremated the dead body and kept it in a gold jar. The end. Thanks everybody for watching and listening. If you stayed through this entire thing, I appreciate your viewing of this. I would like you to please consider subscribing, as well as hitting the like button, as well as pushing the notification bell so that you will be notified, can't speak today, every single time I upload. Thank you very much. I will see you in the next one. Peace out.